Hi, it's Lori from LoriStory.com. I've had several people ask me how to make the grid layouts in Design Space, so I thought I'd do a quick video and show you how I would do it. There are a couple different ways you could go about this, but this is the way I would approach it. Let's go to Insert Images. I'm going to go to My Images. Actually, I'm going to go to My Image Sets, and I'm going to go to the Cricut Craft Room. And if you're new to Design Space, this is a free cartridge. All these shapes are yours whether you're subscribed or not. And I'm going to grab this square. Let's hit back. Let's go to All Images. And I'm going to grab a turkey. I'm going to grab this turkey from Create a Critter. Actually, it's Create a Critter 2. And let's hit Insert Images. Okay, so we have our turkey and we have our base layer. Let's move the turkey over here. Let's look at our base layer. This is actually a note card and I don't need this black layer. Let's just click on it, right click, ungroup. Let's turn this black layer off, or on, I'm sorry, and delete. Okay, so now we just have this one single image. Now let's copy and paste this square, and let's paste it again. Alright, let's move those off to the side. This is our base layer. The Cricut Explorer can cut up to 11.5 by 11.5. Well, it can cut longer than that, but square-wise, 11.5 by 11.5. So just to be on the safe side, let's make our base layer 11.25. by 11.25. And if you leave that cute proportions on, since we're dealing with a square, it will automatically come up with the other side. Also, to keep things easier, if you click this little square up in the corner, it will turn your grid lines on. And that just kind of helps in positioning. Okay. Now there's two different ways you could do this. You could take another rectangle inside this rectangle, spread it out, and then slice this, and I'll just go ahead and do it just to show you. Select both and slice, and start with your frame. And then you would make more frames and put them inside and weld them. I find that's much harder to keep things lined up and keep your borders all the same. So let's undo that and I'll show you how I would do it. Okay, so we're back to, this is where we started. Okay, so you need to decide how big you want your openings. Oops, I just moved that. You need to decide how big you want your openings inside here for your photos. So let's start with a 4x4 square. Instagram's really popular now and you can get your photos printed out in 4x4. So let's set this right here. And kind of want a border, thicker border, maybe like that. Okay, I want to pay attention to the y-axis over here, 1.44. Now I'm going to click on that square and I'm going to copy and paste it because I want to use that size again. And we'll pull that over here. Now let's click on that square again, let's click on the base layer and let's hit slice. Okay, now let's move this over, and I'm going to go over to this corner. And this is all about eyeballing. I'm going to get about the same border on the side. And remember that y-axis, 1.44. Now I know that's now I know that's lined up with the other square. So let's select this one, hold the shift key, select the base layer, and slice. Okay, so now we have that. Now we could go down here and do something similar. Let's see. And grid layouts are all about different sizes. So I think the more different sizes in the boxes, the more interesting it is. But let's line this up as best as we can. And let's see, I'm going to put this 2-inch line, I'm looking right here, I'm putting that 2-inch line right about where that's at, so I can look at the 2-inch line down here. Alright, so we're going to select that. Again, we're going to look at the Y, 7.83. Actually, I feel like that border's a little bit too big. Okay, now the Y is 7.93. Select this one, slice. So the Y was 7.93. Let's line it up over here. Change the Y, 7.93. Select this one, and slice. I have these extra boxes. We don't really need them, but I like to have them over there just in case I need it. So now we need to decide what we want to do with these spaces. We could make a smaller rectangle, and we know that it is 4 inches tall, but let's bring this down. And it looks like I shifted it a little bit, so let's make it 4.00. Let's undo the lock proportions, so it will stay at 4.00. And that looks about right to me. So let's go select the base, slice. We can do the same thing down here. And I believe that was 7.93. And it looks like it needs to be shifted over a little bit. Select, slice. Okay, now we need to decide what we want to do for this area. We could do a series of square pictures here, or I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Select, slice, and I'm going to copy it over here. Actually, I'm going to undo so that goes back, and I want to look, the Y is at 5.69, so I can make sure this is absolutely straight. 5.69. Select the rectangle, select the base, and slice. And now we can delete that. And there's our grid. We can get rid of these. Now something I thought would be fun is, let's turn on, our turkey layer has a shadow layer here, a base layer. Let's turn that on. I want to resize this turkey to fit in, and let's bring him to the front. I want to fit him right in this square. So let's resize him a little bit. And I want him just to go over the edges of this block. Okay, so what I need to do, click on the turkey, right click, ungroup. Now, we're going to grab everything but the last layer of the turkey. So we can go over here to our layers panel, hold our shift key, and select all the turkey layers, except the black one, and just move them aside. Now I'm going to select this black layer, I'm going to select our base, and I'm going to weld. So now that is welded and has become part of our frame. Now I'm going to select all these, and I can set that back. Oh. Let's right click, let's group it together. Well, that actually moved him to the top for us when we grouped it. So now he's back on top. So our layout will look something like that, and then we could also add maybe, let's type thanks, I'm going to do it in all caps. Thanksgiving. Okay, and I'm going to go over here to my edit menu, and I want to change it to a little bit chunkier font. I'm going to use this Cricut Craft Room Basics. Actually, I'm going to use this one, Cricut Font and Basic Shapes. I just like the chunkier font. Okay, so let's take this and let's maneuver this guy a little bit. Let's stretch him this way. Let's stretch it this, whoops, undo. You don't want to stretch from this point. This is a rotate. You want to stretch from the bottom. Let's do that. Let's turn the shadow layer on. Let's see how that's looking. Again, stretch from the bottom. I want this to go from the top to the bottom. And I kind of want my letter spacing to be so that they're touching. Now they're touching. I can stretch that back out. Stretch that back in. Okay, now let's right-click on the Thanksgiving and ungroup. And let's turn off the colored layer and just see how our shadow layer looks. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to select that and select the base, and I'm going to weld. Okay, now don't panic. You said, where did my turkey go? Because we're messing with this layer, it moved it to the top. Your turkey's still there, so let's just select him, arrange, bring to front. And let's turn on our text layer. And again, it's still there, it's just down in the layers panel, so let's move it to the front. Okay, and maybe we want that to be, let's make it a little more Thanksgiving looking. Change our text to orange. And we can move this to fit in there a little bit better. And that's it. That's basically how you do the grid layouts. You can use this method for sports. I've done soccer, volleyball, baseball, and put volleyballs in them. You could do it for holidays. You can do it for just about anything. Birthdays. It's just a fun way to do a layout. And then you just put your photos under here or some ephemera or whatever you want to put in there. You could fill these up with some more Thanksgiving themes if you wanted. But anyway, that's it. That's how you make a grid layout in Design Space. I hope this helped. We'll hit go real quick just so you can see what's going on here. And you can see it's got it all set up, so you have there's part of your turkey, there's your base, there's the other part of the turkey, some more. There's the Thanksgiving. It's going to cut those letters out, actually not in order. It's going to cut them out the best way to save paper because they're not hooked together. So because you're going to be gluing those on top of that base layer. And there's the rest of your duck. So that's it. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Be sure and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.